Everybody wants to be fair these days. We are all shades of brown, and we should be proud of that. The more melanin we have, the lesser chances of skin cancer. We don't age as fast as the Caucasians. They have more wrinkles, more crow's feet, more freckles because they have more pheomelanin, which is the white color.
For us to want to be whiter and all my white friends wanting to tan, we all want something we don't have.
I've always been a big believer of skin minimalism because your skin doesn't really need a 10-step skincare. Skin health is directly related to also your mental health because if you're not happy on the inside, you may do 1,000 treatments, it is not going to show.
The inflammation that dairy causes, is that backed by science?
Of course, the things that we ask you to stop when you have PCOS is sugar, milk, processed food. So definitely dairy. And why dairy?
Joining me today is Dr. Jaishree, a pioneer in cosmetic dermatology and a trusted name amongst Bollywood's top personalities. She's not just redefined skincare in India, she works on building confidence and also making skincare super accessible. With 25 years of experience in this field, she has a ton of wisdom, expertise, and stories you don't want to miss. A masterclass in skincare is, I'm sure, what we're about to get. Dr. Jaishree, welcome to Sustainability with Shreya.
Thank you so much for having me, Shreya.
Thank you so much for doing this. I'm so excited. There's so many skincare questions that I have that I want to ask. So I think I'm also doing it for a very selfish reason. And I hope a lot of listeners get a ton of value out of this.
Thank you. Just looking forward. Let's start.
To start off with, anyone listening to this, why should anyone listen to the advice that you're about to give us?
Because skin is the largest organ of the body. And it's not just a beauty, covering your internal organs. It's something that, protects your internal organs. It is a hormonal organ. A lot of hormones, they get balanced in the skin. It synthesizes vitamin D. It regulates your temperature. It is a sense organ for pain and touch. It is the window to your inside. So why do we always give it a stepmotherly treatment?
A stepmotherly treatment? What do you mean by that?
Where we say, let's take care of everything else. Like, when it comes to the outside, you're looking at your clothes, you're looking at your purses, your jewelry, your everything. But you don't want to invest in the best skincare because you think it's not necessary, right? Yeah. Or you don't want to do skincare because you think it's normal. If I have, for example, a lung infection, I will run to the doctor and I will, make sure I get the best medication and this, that, the other. But if I have a skin allergy or an itch or maybe even pimples, this is the older mindset. I will say, it's okay. I won't give it priority. I first prioritize everything else and then say, okay, now I think I have a little time for skin. Yeah. And that's not how it should be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we believe that we can just slap some makeup on it or some overnight ointment and it's going to be gone, or it's some allergy and we brush it off. In over 25 years that you've been in this field, what are the most common skin misconceptions that you've come across?
Number one is, of course, that, skin doesn't need care. Well, it does. And I just told you why. Two, the most common one is if I drink 8 liters of water, my skin is going to glow. I don't need to do anything else, which is not true because skincare is holistic, So when you're drinking water, of course, your skin is getting hydrated from within, but a certain amount of skin, the upper layers, okay, they do not get hydration from within. They take moisture from the environment. And so you need, if the environment is dry, if you're in a cold climate, or if you are, sitting in the AC all day long, or if the room heater is on all day long because you are in a very cold environment, there is dryness in the air. There's no moisture. So the skin doesn't get moisture from the environment. So the upper layers actually attract and absorb that moisture, and then they hydrate your surface.
I do not know.
All right. So sometimes you may take gallons of water but your skin will still be dry and dehydrated because you're not moisturizing, right? And just by drinking water, your acne is not going to disappear, or your pigmentation is not going to go, or you are not going to be devoid of lines and wrinkles and whatever it is, or dilated pores. There's a lot more to it. I'm not saying don't drink water, but I'm also saying that just by doing 8 liters of water, your skin is not going to glow, right? So that's your second. And then you know that I have good genes, and so I don't need skincare, which is also really not true. Maybe 25% of how you age is your genes, but 75% is what you eat, how's your lifestyle, are you sleeping on time, do you have any vices, are you smoking, are you drinking, are you having a lot of sugar, are you exercising, and then are you also following a good skincare routine. So all of this put together is going to give you good skin over a period of time. You may escape till you are about 30, 35, but once you've crossed that, the skin is not going to forgive you if you don't take care of it holistically,
Yeah, I'm
right?
starting to see that
Then
already.
men feel they don't need skincare. That's another big, big myth, right?
Yeah.
Why? Men also have skin, right? Skin is the largest organ of the body. It's doing all those functions that the skin is doing for a woman.
Yeah.
So men have skin too, and they also need skincare. Pretty much as much. Maybe, if they don't want to do a layered skincare, they can at least, slather a moisturizer and a sunscreen.
I don't know why skincare has become such a feminine thing or such a womanly thing to do. Most men in my life have never used sunscreen, and when I've told them that, my brother's like, "No, you know what? I've been fine without sunscreen all these years, so why would I start now?" But the normalization of even men doing like mani pedis and just coming to a doctor asking about like skin concerns or trying to diagnose that. Why is that so rare, and how do we begin to normalize it?
I think it's a little too late when it comes to people who are probably, um, Gen X, right?
Yeah.
I'm Gen X, so because they have a particular mindset and they think that it's a very masculine, macho thing not to do skincare. Uh, some of the millennials have started doing skincare. The Gen Z is totally out there. They love skincare when it comes to men also, right? So I'll tell you something very interesting. I started practice in 2000, and those days, you're just so fresh and you want to, see as many patients. And I used to see 100 patients in a day, 100, 120. And the entire reception would be like full. And there was this boy who, and I had cameras, so I saw this boy who's come. He sat for about 15, 20 minutes and he was very fidgety. And then he left, okay?
Without seeing you.
And without seeing me. And then I knew his mom. So I said, I saw him, but he didn't see me. So she was like, he was so embarrassed, because there were only women. He was the only man. So he ran away. And what did he suffer from? It was acne. And so he thought while it bothered him, his parents also thought it's normal to have acne. So he came against his parents' wishes. So when he went back, his parents said, "See, we told you. I mean, it's not a girl thing."
Yeah.
Right? And then from there to understanding him, to meeting him outside of the clinic, to figuring out that he has so many issues, low self esteem because of his acne. All right. So it was like a lot of hand holding, which I've written in my first book actually. And then he got like, he wouldn't step out, he wouldn't meet friends, he wouldn't go for events, because you know how it is, right? Everybody has their own opinion and their own, oh, you can do this home remedy, or you
Yeah.
can use this cream and all of that.
Yeah.
And anyway, coming to the point, finally his acne got cleared and then he's doing very well in life. So that was one time where it was such a difficult thing. And then the whole transition for me was difficult, because then slowly the number of males who started coming to my clinic increased. And maybe about 7-8 years ago, the transition happened when maybe 40% now, at least 40% of my clientele are males. And
That's a good.
it's a good,
That's a good ratio. Yeah.
that's a very good ratio. And I had this guy, and that's why I said it's a funny story, where this guy came and he had acne. So I gave him a similar prescription, like, okay, this is your face wash, this is your day cream, your night cream, your sunscreen. You should not be having sugar, da da da, all that. Okay. And I was like, yeah, okay, done, prescription. He's like looking at me with a question mark. And I'm thinking in my mind that, have I made some mistake? Or is he not happy? And what? And so I'm like, you have more questions? He says, yeah, all that is fine, but am I not supposed to come for facials every month? you know? And I was like, wow, it didn't hit me. For me also to transition that, oh, men only come when they are in need, or they come when they have psoriasis or eczemas to a dermatologist like me, and not for regular, cleansing treatments and facials and, looking good, had not hit me till up until a decade ago, right? So that's the funny story. But now I know. So now I look at men with, okay, you need to look confident. You need to look good. You need to have clear skin. When I say look good, I don't mean features. I'm not talking about, like a square jawline and a robust chin. I mean, that's my profession. I do all that. But I'm also basically a dermatologist by degree and by profession. So clear, healthy, radiant skin, And yes, if you want to do like a hydrofacial once in 2 months, why not? If you want to do a laser toning and get your, skin tone even and not patchy, why not?
Yeah. I'd love that. I'd love to have that as like an activity I do with my partner, and just be like, why don't we get facials done together? Like,
so every time now when I have brides come in, they'll say, okay, doc, I think, you know what? I'm getting my fiance because you have to do something for him. And it's like a very nice, pleasant change. That, okay, but that's the younger generation. Yeah. My husband will still not use a sunscreen.
I think the hardest change is at home more than anything else. I think that's the last place activism or change happens. That's what I've noticed. But, each to their own. There was a really funny meme I'd seen once that, men use the same product to wash their heads. The same shampoo that they use
everything.
as everything, like hair wash, face wash, body wash. It's just the same product. And the skin would be flawless. And then here we are, using 15 products, 20 products, and we're still breaking out. And that's honestly sometimes the reality of what it's like.
So you're right about the fact that the meme where it talked about it showed how women do so many things and still they break out, or they're aging faster or whatever. It's true because women, the hormonal changes that we go through every time, whether it's when we attain puberty, we start our menstrual cycles, or when you're getting pregnant, or you are going through the menopausal phase. So every time there is something happening in our body. And not that men don't have hormones, men have hormones too. But the kind of changes and the ups and downs that our body goes through reflects on our skin.
And it's more unforgiving.
Yes. Yeah. Which is why, we break out, we have more pigmentation and all those issues. Also, when a lot of times I know these days that, people go for egg freezing and they go for IVFs and all of that. Requires a lot of, again, hormonal injections and stuff. Again, you'll develop hyperpigmentation or acne or hair fall, all of those things. And so we are, as a species, a little more endangered when it comes to skin issues, right? Having said that, men don't age as fast as a woman. The collagen fibers, they're more intact. The breakdown is slower. That's also another thing. Yeah.
Why do we have all these stacked against us? Like, why are all these factors?
Which is why they do anything and they get away.
Yeah.
But only up, as I said,
only up to a
certain age. Because after that, nothing is forgiving, right? For men, maybe it's 45. If the cutoff for a woman is 35. But for a man, it's still 45. So they will also sag. They will also have all those issues. But when we talk of things like acne, it's more common in men. So acne and folliculitis, especially in the hair growing areas, beard and, all of that, They develop these pus-filled boils, and it's called folliculitis. It's a bacterial infection. That's more common in men. Men have more oil glands than women, so more sebaceous gland activity, which is why when they get acne, they very often will develop cystic acne, like large, pimples and stuff. So yeah, the first most common thing that men come to me for is hair fall, male pattern alopecia, receding hairline. That's the first. Acne is the second. And then you have other issues like, oh, my pores are dilated, or I have pigmentation. A lot of men who are, in their 40s, late 40s, will have a pigmented band on their forehead. It's very common. They have and that's sort of something that happens over a period of time because of, either constantly wiping their sweat, with a very harsh napkin, or because of a lot of sun exposure, and they've not used a sunscreen all their life. And so suddenly, the pigment starts to show, as I said, after 45. So those are common things that I see in men who are above 45. But yeah, they have issues too.
Yeah. I didn't know about this until recently, but the hormonal changes that you were talking about that we go through, it's more than just the internal changes, the clothes that we wear, what we're consuming, even makeup products for that matter. And sometimes so many moisturizers have these ingredients like heavy amount of fragrance and stuff like that. Because even wearing polyester, apparently it is leaching microplastics into your skin, and there's so many ways that we consume plastic without knowing that. Are these environmental factors playing a role in how our hormones are changing as well?
So, we need a lot of studies in that, but definitely there would be playing a role. There would be. So, we are gradually moving towards sustainable beauty and skincare, which is very important, because there are there are stories about how petrolatum or a particular palm oil, and of course fragrance can damage your skin or alter your hormones, and play havoc not just on your skin but also in your body.
Yeah, reproductive health, breathing issues with like wearing plastic,
I,
petroleum
I
jelly.
have a lot of breathing. I have asthma, and I have a lot of issues with a lot of creams. I can't, the best and the most expensive creams, and I can't use them on my face because the next day my face will be swollen and my nose will be completely blocked. I don't get rashes. My nose is blocked,
Why is that?
because I'm so allergic to some of these ingredients. So, yeah.
How do I decipher as a consumer between what is good for me versus what is bad for me? Because there's so many labels out there. There's natural, there's organic, but whatever is natural and organic may not always be the best thing. So
Yeah,
how do I
because,
decipher?
you know, um, at this point of time, it's very nascent. We're heading there. But so we're heading there in terms of um, cruelty-free, vegan, those kind of products. But if your skin will always talk to you, that's why skin talks. So listen to your skin. So when you apply a product, if you feel something is not right, if you feel there is, it's itchy or there's a rash, those are the most common things which you will realize and you'll come. Or you suddenly you feel your skin is looking dull because you've used a particular product, or it's flaky. Of course that product is not for you. But if you also, without realizing, are suddenly developing headaches, all right, you're using some new product but you're not correlating. So you've got to be conscious that, oh, it could be the product that you're applying and you're developing headaches.
I could never find that connection between. I would never put using something on my skin externally to me getting a headache.
Yeah, so that's possible. And as I said, that suddenly you're getting a runny nose, or you're feeling your nose is stuffy, or you've started using a new product, you've not even thought about it, you've used it, oh, you love it. You wake up in the morning and your skin is so lovely and it's smooth and it's radiant, but your face is swollen and you don't even connect the two.
Yeah.
Or your sinuses are full, or you have a constant post nasal drip. You know what I mean by a post nasal? keep doing that because there's something, what is that? That's an allergy to an ingredient in the skincare or the beauty or the cosmetic product that you're using. And you don't connect the dots because you're not aware.
No, you think it's just air pollution. If
You think
live
it's
in
pollution.
India, you think it's just
But this is
pollution.
also pollution.
Skin pollution.
It's skin pollution.
That's so interesting. I feel like with all the information out there and how many facts you have to dissect and how much information you have to sift through, even, just on Instagram, going through all these reels when someone will tell you this is good for you, but another person will tell you, no, that is bad for you. Don't do that. Do this, do that. We're sitting with information fatigue. And I find it so difficult to, pick between what is right versus what is wrong. And even the overwhelming amount of products that you're told you're supposed to use. If I have information fatigue or if I don't know who to believe, how do I, as a layman, know what's best for me?
I always say, please at least once consult with a dermatologist. It's very important. Also look at the degrees, because a lot of times people who call themselves dermatologists are not dermatologists in today's day and age. And then get your skin examined and understand your skin. Your skin will change based on your hormones, the climate, the products that you're using, the food that you're eating. So you need to understand that, and you need to listen to your skin. Do not just blindly follow social media and the trends, because every skin is unique. What is best for you may really be very harmful for me, and vice versa. Right? So your favorite actor may look amazing and say, this is it, this is the product. But no, your skin is different.
Yeah, but your favorite actor may not even be using that product. They're just paid to endorse it.
Well, that's a different story altogether. Yes.
Yeah, even to just know the difference between the two.
You have to know the difference. Yeah, I mean, these days, even you have skin influencers and some of the dermatologists who are, they're giving, you examples of, moisturizers or this or that. But they're paid partnerships. So please look out for that. So the moment you read paid partnership, don't believe in that product till you have reviews from your friends and, you've read all the reviews. And I think some of them, like Reddit and Quora, or some of them are good, where you can go through them and, do test patches, look at the ingredients, ask a dermatologist, and then use the product.
Yeah, I find reading the labels so difficult when it comes to skincare products, because I think food, you more or less know what you're getting, and I've started understanding the different ways that sugar is put in food products as well. But as soon as I see the back of a shampoo, I'm like, there's no way I understand.
You can't, because they're like
scientific
100. They're 100, which is why you need, the help of somebody who understands that. So you just about, you talked about how everything natural and organic need not be, so-called natural and organic, because there are some preservatives which are required to make that product last longer, right? And then you realize, when you look at the entire list, that there's a lot of chemical out there.
Yeah, a lot of compound names and whatnot, like names I'd never be able
which
to
you will not
spell.
Realize.
Yeah, so all that.
So don't blindly follow things just because it is a trend, or it is, really, being advertised everywhere. It's so much about marketing these days. Or the packaging is lovely, or it really smells nice, does not necessarily mean it's going to do good to your skin.
I, as someone who's constantly on the go, and I know so many of my friends don't have an extensive amount of time in the morning. We don't have time for a 12-step skincare routine, morning and evening. And I'm also just speaking from a sustainability point of view and wanting to be a minimalist. Is there something that I can do with just a few products that I'd be ready to go? Do these 3 things and, you're ready to step out of the house.
So I've always been a big believer of skin minimalism. Always. If you look at my books or my, whatever podcasts or whatever, my reels and stuff like that, because your skin doesn't really need a 10-step skincare. The skin will get confused. All right. So what do you need in the morning? You need a good cleanser, yes. Um, but if you have normal skin or very dry skin, and you just use what, like a soap free cleanser in the morning, that's more than enough. uh, if you have oily skin or acne prone skin, then maybe you need a combination. Maybe you need to look at a tea tree oil or a green tea extract or a little salicylic acid. But that's what it is. Then use a moisturizer. Whether you have oily skin or dry skin, you still need a moisturizer. And then use a sunscreen. That's your 3 step in the morning.
That sounds so much better than eye
And
cream and nose cream
yeah,
and
you really don't need all of that. Now, if you want your skin, if you have an issue, you have acne or you have hyperpigmentation or you have a lot of wrinkles, and you want to use one more ingredient, then you can add a serum in the morning. Preventative aging, anti-aging, you want to add something? Yes, you can add. You can add an niacinamide or you can add a vitamin C, but there's no hard and fast rule. So that FOMO should not be there. That, oh my God, my friends are using so many things and I should also be using them. No. Do not forget to moisturize. Never negotiate. Sunscreen is non negotiable. So that's something that you don't leave. And that's it. And at bedtime, however tired you are, you must remove your makeup. You must cleanse your face. And then you use a moisturizer or a targeted cream. When I say a targeted cream, I mean depending on what your skin needs. So if you have an acne issue, then an anti-acne cream followed by a moisturizer. If you don't have any issue and you just want to use an anti-aging product, something which has peptides in it,
like
use
retinol.
that. Yeah, something with peptides on alternate night, a retinol on alternate night. But that's all. And don't forget your body. You have to moisturize your entire body. Whatever you apply on the face, you have to apply on the neck because your neck is an extension of your face.
Always forget the
Right.
neck.
So these are little things that you have to do. And whatever you're applying on the face, you can just dab under the eye as well. You don't need a separate under eye cream unless you have hyperpigmentation or a lot of lines. Then, of course, you need something different. But otherwise, you can keep it as basic as that.
That sounds way better than being a skin maximalist and using, 12 products in the morning and 12 products at night and doing all of that. And at the end of the day, you're just tired and you just either want to get out of the house or go to sleep.
Sometimes when you overdo it, you compromise on the skin's barrier. And then your skin gets oversensitive over a period of time. And sometimes you also end up blocking and clogging your pores and get a lot of acne or whiteheads and blackheads. So it's not necessarily the right thing to do unless you have an issue and your dermatologist has asked you to use 2 or 3 things.
My skin reacted really differently when I moved from Sweden to India, just dealing with the level of air pollution here. AQI levels are dangerous. Just breathing that in, what is my skin going through, with this level of pollution? How's that impacting my skin health?
Oh, there was a study which talked about how, with air pollution, you can also develop PCOD.
You can develop PCOD?
Yeah, polycystic ovarian disease. So young girls who've not had any of these issues, of course, PCOD is on the rise because of lifestyle changes, but also because of pollution. Okay. So when you have issues like these, of course, your skin is going to go for a toss because pollution with that, all the harmful environmental toxins and chemicals that you're breathing in, there will be a hormonal disbalance. And everything boils down to hormones again, right? There will be a disbalance. And then, your skin will get more sensitive. You're more prone to autoimmune skin disorders. You're more prone to eczemas. You're more prone to irritant contact dermatitis, something which your skin was able to fight earlier, it won't be able to anymore. Yeah. At the drop of a hat, you get a rash, or your skin is itchy, or it's dry. And then, of course, there's acne all the time.
How do I protect myself with all these environmental factors, changing environmental factors, and of course, climate change on the rise as well? There's so many, things around us that are changing and rapidly so. Even with the wildfires in LA, I just found out that the air quality here is still worse than what's going on in LA right now?
So, majorly, I think good skincare where you need to use a barrier protective layer on your skin. And by that, I just mean a good moisturizer and using a sunscreen. So, if you use a sunscreen which has physical ingredients like zinc oxide and titanium dioxide, it's also a physical barrier on the skin. So, these two things. There are certain creams they're developing now which are meant for protecting your skin against pollution, which has vitamin C and some botanicals in them. So maybe you can look at that. And then make sure you're eating healthy. Very important. Your skin is really what you eat.
Yeah.
So um, so try to balance all of, how do you fight that? This, we still don't have things which will sort of say this is your shield, and this shield can protect you from the environmental toxins and the pollution. We still don't have that. So how do you counterbalance that? By the food you eat. So eat healthy, include a lot of brightly colored fruits and vegetables because they are very rich in antioxidants. A lot of greens again, because that's again very rich in antioxidants. What is an antioxidant? It is something which is fighting against the free radicals. Free radicals are these villains which are formed in the skin, in the body, when you're inhaling all the toxins from the environment, from the polluted environment. So you have that you have antioxidants in your diet. You can take supplements of antioxidants. Try and cut down the sugar in your diet as much as possible. When we say sugar, it's also jaggery, it's also honey.
All forms of sugar.
Because all forms of sugar will, hasten or speed up the process of aging and glycation and increase hormones like IGF-1, which are harmful for your skin. So do that. Smoking is maybe a fad, but whether it's smoking or Juul or vaping, nicotine is going to cause vasoconstriction, which means your blood vessels are going to constrict and the blood supply to your skin, the oxygen supply, the nutrient supply to your skin is going to reduce. And when that happens, automatically your skin is going to, either become sensitive or break into hives, or you may develop hyperpigmentation, dry skin, wrinkles, fine lines, collagen degradation. All of that will happen. So it's also adding to what you are inhaling, so and then people forget about sleep. Yeah. Right? Sleep cycle is so very important because your circadian rhythm has to be followed. So if you're sleeping at 10 today, try and sleep at 10 every day. Maybe once in a week is allowed, where you can just go off the radar. But otherwise, if you're sleeping at midnight, sleep at midnight every day. So that's
consistency.
Your cycle, So that's very important. Some people come to me and say, but doc, we're working at night, because we are following the US time. Then make sure you're sleeping at 9 in the morning every day and waking up at the same time every day, barring a couple of here and there. That's all right. Stress, so the more stress you take, everybody is stressed these days. Yeah. All of us are stressed, right? But how are you coping with it? What are you doing for yourself? Do you have some me time? Where is the time for self-love? Are you giving that to yourself? Are you sitting and breathing? Are you indulging in some nice hobby, where you can learn to cope with stress? Because the moment you're stressing, your cortisol is going up. That's a hormone. And when that is going up, whatever you are inhaling in the form of pollution and toxins, your cortisol is assisting that to blow into all kinds of skin and internal organ reactions.
So it almost amplifies.
It amplifies the whole thing.
What I mean, yeah. Cortisol.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Of course, I know stress is bad for your skin and then your skin will break out, but I don't know, just added that.
It adds to it. So you have to, so these are different ways of making your shield. कहते हैं ना, कवच कैसे बनाओगे, अभी तो है नहीं. Yeah. So at least do all of this to protect yourself.
What are the top 3 antioxidant-rich foods that we can eat?
All the leaves, right? So from spinach to kale to celery to whatever, our Indian, our methi and all of that. Berries. Of course, now it's difficult. Everybody may not be able to afford the blueberries and the raspberries or whatever, but I think strawberries are easily available and you can have them. Bell peppers.
Bell peppers.
Yeah. Pomegranate. Okay, so all of these are very, very rich in antioxidants. Our very own nimbu and amla. Right? So a green juice in the morning is the best detox. So you take an avla, like a dash of lemon in it. Take some leaves, maybe spinach or celery or pudina or some of that. And, maybe take a little bit of maybe an ashgard, and then just make a drink out of it and have that in the morning. Very good for the body and for the skin.
Love it. I'm sure there's home remedies that people give as well. Like, do this, put the neem ka patta on your acne and it's going to go away.
Yeah. Oh my God. I had this girl who came about a week ago with burnt marks all over. Nice, educated girl. And I'm thinking, did she have chicken pox? Because dark and... Yeah. And she applied, what is that? Lime? Chuna?
Limestone.
Some kind of limestone. And a mix of that with garlic for her acne. I'm like, does it even exist in today's day and age? I mean, why would you do that? And burnt skin,
oh my God,
craters, because scars all over. People do weird things. People use horse hair for their skin tags.
Horse hair?
Yeah. So to get rid of their skin tags.
The vegan in me
yeah. Why would you do that? Just go to a dermat and get those cauterized, Why would you take... And then it'll get infected. And then you have... So they do weird things. Yes. Well, I had a patient who said, I have this huge garden and... the funniest. This huge garden. And can't I just take the snail mucin from there? And I'm like... Oh. And then you have these bird poop facials. So people think... Oh, we have birds, so guys, it is great. Can we just take that and apply?
Bird poop facial?
Bird poop facials are very common in Japan.
Yeah, okay. The Japanese birds and the Indian birds.
Yeah. So, no, but also what happens is these are called the geisha facials. They take the bird poop and they really sterilize it and do all of that and a lot of things. And then they believe that there are a lot of... good enzymes which will help. You can't just take something and apply it, right? I mean, there are bizarre things. You've seen it on Instagram.
Yeah. Skin
menstrual blood on the face.
That's the new thing I'm seeing right now. Don't throw your menstrual blood away and put it on your face.
I want to just puke. Are people mental? What is wrong with people?
What's your take on that? What's your take on menstrual blood?
It's very, very unhygienic, and it can give you a lot of infection. I feel people, you can sell anything to them in the name of clear skin and they will totally take it.
This is what I mean by everything that is natural and organic is not good for you. This is example number 1.
Imagine running behind a snail in the garden and taking the snail.
Please tell me where he lives so I can rescue the snails from anything. I need to start a snail sanctuary just so people don't do this. But marine collagen, cow urine, salmon sperm, and snail mucin. Are there any animal-free, cruelty-free alternatives to all of these skin trends?
I really don't believe in these things like cow urine. And, when you talk of snail mucin, hyaluronic acid is a very good moisturizing ingredient. And you really don't need to run behind the snail. Right? So you can get plant-based vegan hyaluronic acid, which will do a fantastic job, absorb water from the environment, and it then retains 1,000 times its weight of water and plumps the skin and hydrates the skin. So leave the snail.
Yeah, please.
Okay? Cow urine, absolutely no basis. So I do not know about it. Salmon sperms, so polydeoxyribonucleic acid, we are getting plant-based PDRN also now. Plants also have DNA. So we are getting that. We are also getting exosomes, which actually, you have two types of exosomes. One is obtained from the umbilical cord, and the other is from plants. So you do have plant-based options which are giving you similar results, or maybe as close, maybe 90% of what the animal-based one could do. Uh, and then you spoke of collagen. Yeah. So um, I have to tell you one thing. What is collagen? See, it's a byproduct of protein, amino acids. So if you have an adequate amount of collagen, protein in your diet, and you make sure you don't have a lot of sugar and alcohol, and you don't smoke, your body will normally produce collagen. You do not need to take shots of marine collagen or take shots of bone broth and all of that. Right? Yes, there are plant-based collagen powders available, but it's as good as taking a pea protein. So there is, as of now, the reviews and the literature is very mixed, because not all collagen is absorbed when you take it orally. But when you take proteins in your diet, it automatically will form collagen.
So just eating right, as
Eat
we
right.
said.
So leave those
Poor
marine
animals
animals
alone.
away. Yes.
Yeah, just leave all land and marine animals alone, for that matter. I had PCOS when I was growing up, and I grew up predominantly vegetarian. And when I turned vegan about 9 years ago, I reversed my PCOS. My acne completely cleared up. And I think it was over time that I learned about the connection between the inflammation that dairy causes to your skin and the amount of acne that I had, and also PCOS. Is that backed by science? Does
Of
dairy
course.
cause inflammation?
Yeah, of course. So the things that we ask you to stop, not avoid, when you have PCOS is sugar, milk, right? Processed food, and anything with high glycemic index like maida and fried potatoes and all of that. So definitely dairy. And why dairy? Because the estrogen level is high in milk, right? So obviously you're having that, and then it's altering your hormones. B, a lot of times the cows and even the buffaloes are fed with a lot of antibiotics, okay, and a lot of other things so that they produce more milk. So obviously that milk is full of hormones again, right? And so when you're having these, they are going to alter the hormones in the body, and you will, if you have PCOS, it is going to exacerbate. So definitely dairy causes and it's not just PCOS. Dairy does cause inflammation.
What about red meat and skin health?
It's a complete no again. So everything about red meat is about digestion, and if your gut is not clear, your skin is not going to be clear. That's a common thing. So as you said, you turned vegan and your PCOS disappeared.
Absolutely.
And obviously
PCOS,
then
skin
your
health,
skin
hair
health, hair
everything.
health improved, right? Because there is a connection. And therefore, your bad bacteria are increasing when you have red meat. Your good bacteria are going down. Your probiotics are going down, and therefore, obviously, then your skin is going to take the toll. It's going to have, to face the repercussions.
Yeah, that's what I mean. To just learn the importance of what you eat and how you just become. I think you become a nutritionist as soon as you go on a plant-based diet as well, because you have to know exactly what you're intaking and how your body is reacting to that as well. So it was a long process, but such a rewarding one. Honestly,
absolutely.
It's the best decision I've ever made. Like just cutting down on dairy products, and just it shows. Like it definitely shows on my skin. I've never done anything invasive. Like I've never gone through a procedure.
You're
But
gorgeous. You don't need one.
no, you're really sweet. But the amount of times you see pictures of people who I've seen change, and just maybe being surrounded by people who are from the industry, or having friends who've had treatments, I'm sure every woman at some time has looked at herself and felt like, I'm not enough, I'm not pretty enough. And do I need to do some sort of Botox? Do I need a filler? Do I need to go through some sort of surgery to look the way someone else does? How do we combat that insecurity, that sense of comparing yourself to someone else, and to really just feeling okay and confident in who you are?
I think it's a very, very important and a very touchy point. And social media has a big role to play in that, because the amount of pictures out there, you don't know if they're filters, if they're apps, or if people have really done things to themselves, whatever it is. Everybody wants more likes, more followers, more this. A couple of months back, I put out a post where I said, I'm not doing Instagram anymore for a couple of I'm taking a break, because people would come and say, oh, you know what? You should dress this way. You should do this kind of makeup. You should wear this kind of jewelry. You're just putting your content, and that's why you're not getting likes and you're not getting views. And I'm like, I'm not. No, this is not what it is. So if somebody can tell me that, imagine what the youngsters are going through,
Yeah.
right? Um, and everybody wants to be like a Bella Hadid or a Kardashian for whatever reason, and I don't understand why. Because to me, beauty is about individuality. It's about your uniqueness. It's about that one scar that you have, or your nose is in a particular way, and that's your character, right? Um, it's all right. It's very good to take care of your skin and have clear skin. That's one thing. I mean, that's my profession, and I believe in that. But it's okay if something is really nagging you. I had this girl who had a sort of a flat bridge, nasal bridge, and everybody in the family had a very sharp nose, including her mom. And all of them made fun of her from the time she was like, young. And so it stayed in her, and the kind of confidence that she lost because of that. And her mom would always also tell her that, I wonder whose nose you've got, you know? So in such a scenario, when it's playing on your mind and it's really, difficult, and you're not seeking therapy because that's not what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so this girl came to me and I said, okay, fine. I will do a nose, like a filler for you. Decide whether you like it, and then you can think of doing a nose job, like a proper surgical rhinoplasty. And I did the nose filler, and she transformed, because suddenly she got that confidence back. And she became this, she's a very good entrepreneur. She's gorgeous. Everybody at home and her friends and everybody started calling her gorgeous. So there is that little line which you can say, okay, fine, if it's really bothering you, do it. But otherwise, embrace your individuality. It's also okay to do certain tweakments here and there to sort of not look haggard and tired all the time, because you have the means today. But don't cross the line. There's a very thin line. Don't cross it. Embrace your color.
Yeah,
right? Everybody wants to be fair these days. We are all shades of brown, and we should be proud of that, right? The more melanin we have, it's called, eumelanin. It's the pigment. The lesser chances of skin cancer, which we don't realize. We don't age as fast, as quickly as the Caucasians. They have more wrinkles, more crow's feet, more freckles, more everything, because they have more pheomelanin, which is the white color, which is not protecting them. So look at those positives, and all shades of brown are lovely.
Absolutely. And the residue of colonialism, right? For us to want to be whiter, and all my white friends wanting to tan and have that, nice gold tan. It's, we all want something we don't have, but just to embrace our brown beauty, as you said.
It's so important. So I think it's it's a very highly debatable topic, but it's also very sad to see that kids get influenced, all the time, wanting to look like somebody else. I have kids who come to me and say, okay, but for me they're kids, they're 22 but they're kids, you know so I want lips like this particular person, and they'll show me the, I'm like, no, it's okay, you have very thin lips and you want a little lip filler, it's fine, but don't say you want lips like that person. Okay. Just the other day I had a girl and who came in, and she said she was treating her acne and I was doing some chemical peel for her, and she said, doc, do you think I should do lip fillers? And I'm like, why? You've got gorgeous lips, you know she said, no, I have, all my friends are doing it. I said, so
Yeah.
just because all your friends, I have FOMO. I said, no need. You've got gorgeous lips. Flaunt them. You're beautiful.
And that's an important message. That's an important message to every young woman,
Yeah.
every young girl.
That whatever you have, you're beautiful. You have to be beautiful on the inside. It reflects on the outside. I was joking the other day and I said, she's not glowing because just day before yesterday, I said, Namrata, I said, how you may do the best makeup on her face on the day of her wedding, but she's not going to glow because, she's not marrying her boyfriend.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a joke,
true.
but it's true, because if you're not happy on the inside, you may do 1,000 treatments, you will still not glow. It is not going to show. I've had patients like that. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, where am I going wrong? What am I doing that I'm not being able to fulfill her, her requirements? Because she is never happy with whatever I'm doing. Right? This was what my thing was back in the day. But I learned over a period of time that skin health is directly related to also your mental health. Right? So then I realized, and I started hand holding people. I started trying to figure that, oh, behind this, there is something more. There's a story. And that is why they're coming to me. Not everybody, I'm just talking about some of them who are coming to me for, whatever treatment, whatever, whether it's acne scars or an under eye filler, or they want their chin in a particular way, or there are people who want breast implants. I don't do them, but it's a plastic surgeon's domain. But yeah, there's a reason. It's not just them, it's not the camera. It's because their family is telling them, or their husbands are telling them, or their wives are telling them, or whatever. Why are you so why do you rely on other people's opinions? It should be yourself. When you look in the mirror, you have to love yourself. That self-love and that embracing yourself is so important.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's how I managed to fight through all of this noise that's around me, and
You have to learn to tell that noise to shut up.
Exactly. That's what it is. But when it comes from family or people that you love, I think that's the hardest.
It's difficult.
Even when I had acne, I think everyone else's comments you can bear them, but if it's your family telling you, hey, oh, it's increased, or it's it's looking worse than last time that I'd seen it, I think that's when it hurts more than random strangers on the internet.
Very true. And that is why over a period of these 25 years of my practice, I have formed bonds with my patients, some of them, because they've had these issues where the family has told them that, what are you doing? And, your acne, or, oh my God, your skin color, or, what, oh my God, you have a crooked nose, it gets very difficult.
Is there anything you'd like to say to the parents listening to this who would probably, would pass these comments to their children, just commenting on how they look, maybe their skin?
Yes, a lot of times people don't realize it and they say it very casually, and it sticks with the child, and then it's a taboo, and it somewhere hits their core, and the confidence goes. And as the child grows, the child is not blooming 100% because somewhere there is this one negative which is there.
Yeah.
And so it's very important to be mindful and, you know, not not say things which can hurt the child, to the core. I have so many, now a lot less, but back in the day, अरे ये बचपन में तो जब पैदा हुआ था बहुत गोरा था, अब तो काला हो गया, इसको कुछ कर दो.
Oh my God.
But that is sitting in that child is listening to you. You are the parent, you are the mother. It's hitting that child's confidence somewhere. मैं तो काला हूँ. Right? So your confidence is going somewhere. 1%, 2%. It's not right. It's
a lot
unfair.
more than that. No, it stays
It's
with you
unfair.
forever.
It stays with you. It's unfair. So I think, even parents, relatives, friends, everybody, before you make personal comments, think for a moment on appearances.
You can never be enough. I'm telling you, either too much or not enough. So it's just about making peace with who you are. But if our loved ones didn't comment at that age, especially when it stays with you and you're so impressionable, it would be a lot easy to navigate through it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't want to jump from this to sunscreen, but I think because it's one pressing issue that I have. I feel like we were having a moment and I just want to stay in that moment. But I do have to ask you about sunscreen because there's so many misconceptions. There's so many myths. People believe that it causes skin cancer. There's ingredients in sunscreen that are not good for you, even though I know how important it is. Number one, do I still need to use sunscreen if I stay indoors? Like if I'm working indoors, do I need to use sunscreen? And do lights cause you to tan as well? And is the sunscreen only used for protection or does it prevent tanning?
All right. So first of all, your first question about whether sunscreens cause cancer, you have to look at the ingredients. It's very important. So if you have a sunscreen which is completely physical, it has zinc oxide, titanium dioxide, they're mineral sunscreens, very safe. If they have chemicals in them, again, look at the chemicals. So you shouldn't have, PABA, those kind of, ingredients in them. And then a hybrid version where you have more physical, less chemical is always very good. That's number one. So no, sunscreen does not cause cancer if you use the right kind of sunscreen. If you don't use a sunscreen, there is a possibility that you develop skin cancer. And, Bob Marley died of skin cancer, right? So squamous cell carcinoma, melanomas, these are very, virulent, very violent skin cancers. Basal cell carcinoma is the mildest, but the others can be really bad. And that's all because of sunlight, sun exposure. So yes, it is important to use a sunscreen. Now, whether it tans you or not. Now, tan is a very individual thing. You don't like your tan, use a sunscreen. You don't mind your tan, it's okay, right? But the sunscreen is also protecting you from all the other harmful things that your sun rays can do, like allergies, so you have something called polymorphic light eruption, which is making your skin more sensitive and you're developing these white patches all over the skin, itchy rashes, compromising the barrier, all of that. Apart from, of course, faster degradation of collagen and developing lines and wrinkles and hyperpigmentation and blotchy skin and all of that. So it's important to use a sunscreen. Just use the right one. Something which has UVA, UVB protection, protecting you from visible light, blue light, everything. Then your second question as to when you're indoors, should you be using a sunscreen? So if you are indoors and there is no amount of light that is coming into your room, it's okay not to wear a sunscreen. But if you have large, huge windows, French windows, 70% of UVA and visible light is penetrating glass. So when it does that, you are getting exposed to UVA, which is why you need to wear a sunscreen at home. Of course, if you're outdoors, the best of sunscreens is going to last only for 2 to 3 hours, so you have to reapply. But if you're indoors, you can cheat. You need not keep reapplying. Then coming to lights and laptops and cell phones, that is all blue light most of the time. Blue light is also there in sun, in your sun rays. But this blue light, we're still waiting for adequate amount of studies. And what we have seen, what research tells us, is that blue light can harm your skin if you're consistently getting exposed to it. So 4 hours of consistent laptop, somebody who's working on the laptop for 4 continuous hours will get an equivalent damage, which is equivalent to a UVA.
Wow.
But if you're intermittent, little bit of laptop, phir chale gaye, then again, then it's okay.
This does not apply to my team listening to this.
So maybe then, now here's the thing. Any random sunscreen, a very good sunscreen for that matter, that you're using to protect your skin from UVA, UVB, will not necessarily protect you from your laptop or your cell phone or your lights, because you need blue light protection. So visible light and blue light, that means your sunscreen needs to have ingredients like iron oxide and maybe a vitamin C or a botanical, which is going to protect you from blue light. So it has to be a tinted sunscreen.
Because we use that all the time. We are on our phones. I'm sure average screen time is so high. Our phones, our laptops, iPads, all of those things.
But these days, all our smartphones have that blue filter.
Yeah.
So why don't you switch to that? I mean, we can all do that, and you can protect yourself from at least that. Even the laptops.
Yeah.
You have those filters, so you just switch to that. You can always do that. That's extra protection. If you're indoors and you don't want to use a sunscreen, use vitamin C. It'll protect you. It's a good antioxidant, or vitamin C serum in the morning. And otherwise, just a tinted sunscreen. What I do is I use a tinted sunscreen in the morning, and then I put some little blush on and my lipstick, and I'm ready. So then I don't have to use foundation and this and that and whatever. It's just a tinted sunscreen.
Again, just minimal skincare and minimal makeup as well. Any other sunscreen related myths you'd like to bust? Any other common misconceptions people have?
People think when I say how much sunscreen do you apply? Okay, how much sunscreen do you apply?
2 p's, like 2 drops. And then just put it on my face.
Right. So the adequate amount of sunscreen that one needs is 2 fingers. This is the quantity that you need. Anything less than that, this is not going to help you. It is not going to protect you from UVA, UVB.
Wow.
Right?
I've been doing it wrong.
So
2 fingers.
Yeah, 2 fingers. That's the quantity of sunscreen. If you really need adequate sun protection from UVA, UVB, visible light, that's the quantity. And I just said that you need to reapply if you're outdoors. Yeah. On a cloudy day, you still need a sunscreen because 70% of UVA will penetrate clouds. If you are in the snow, you still need a sunscreen. In fact, that is where the rays will reflect and you get more damage.
Yeah.
So you need to remember that. And the best of sunscreens will not protect you from a tan when you're on a holiday, because it's not practical. We never reapply 2 fingers of sunscreen every 2 hours on a holiday. So then what do? Please use a nice white rimmed hat. Use your dark glasses. You get sun protective clothing. You can use that. You can wear them. Don't forget to use the sunscreen on your exposed parts of the body as well. And don't forget to eat right. So again, all the antioxidants that I spoke of. And these days you also get oral sunscreen. I think there's an oral sunscreen there. There's a bottle of oral sunscreen somewhere. Okay. So you do get oral sunscreen. It's not a replacement for a cream, but it's like an add-on, like an adjuvant. So it helps. And there's polypodium leucotomas. There are antioxidants, vitamin A, C, ferulic acid. All of these will help. So you'll have to do a bunch of all of those if you want to prevent a tan or a sunburn, or if you have a skin type which is very sensitive and you develop sun allergies, then you need to do all of these. But if you're okay with the tan, then enjoy it.
Is it getting worse, the sun allergy, or, with every summer being hotter than what it used to be as well, heat waves being more frequent? But we still have an increase in vitamin D deficiency in this country. I definitely supplement. I take vitamin D3 on a regular basis. How do we deal with this?
So climate change is a huge problem, not just for the body, but also for the skin. I mean, I'm talking as if skin is not a part of the body, but yes. So, when you are exposed to all of this and the climatic change, the skin is going to go for a toss, 100%. And the depletion of ozone layer, the rays getting harsh, the climate getting warmer. We are not just seeing more sun allergies, we are also seeing more autoimmune skin disorders now, and we are seeing more PCOS, of course. But autoimmune skin disorder, a simple thing like, we're seeing a lot of lichen planus. There's a condition called lichen planus. You see violaceous colored patches all over the skin, little tiny, tiny dots all over the skin, very itchy. Sometimes it's just hyperpigmentation, like a violet hyperpigmented patch on the neck and the face. These are all autoimmune. And that's primarily because of pollution, because of sun damage, because of global warming, all of these playing on your body.
Is there a way for us to combat that or be more adaptive?
I think you just have to go with the flow and protect your skin and make sure that you're using your moisturizer and your sunscreen, you're eating right. And as far as possible, cover yourself if you can.
If you're a tech billionaire, buy a bunker in New Zealand and hide there, as most of them are. So I know that the skincare industry contributes as much as 120 billion units of waste in terms of packaging. What is the future of sustainable cosmetics or sustainable dermatology, for that matter?
When you put a product in a plastic bottle or a jar, and if you are keeping it outside in the heat, at some point there is a little bit of leak, right? The microplastic leaks into the skin. So first unhealthy thing that's happening. Not good for your body, not good for your skin. Secondly, a lot of times these products, they get rancid when you just leave them outside. So it's always better to put products in a glass bottle. So that's in terms of the efficacy of the product and how much of benefit it's doing to your skin. Then we come to packaging. So if you are imagine using a recyclable product, a bottle or a jar or a glass bottle vis-a-vis a plastic, right? So why can't we slowly, there are people who are doing it, but maybe slowly all these containers that we use, and then we are then putting them in these, just to make them look good, you're putting them in those plastic covers instead of using paper. There are a lot of them which come in paper covers, but then there are also these sort of semi-plastic things which look very chic and stuff. So I think all of that should maybe be banned, because they're all contributing to the pollution and the toxicity that we are getting exposed to day in and day out. And so look at biodegradable packaging, look at recyclable packaging, and so that way the product is not going to, a lot of times look at things like vitamin C, it gets oxidized. You have to put it in a glass jar. So I think it'll be better if we looked at it from that point of view as well. And
I think that's what sustainability should be. It should be more about the health benefits as well, because anything that's bad for the planet is bad for us. And same in the case of plastic clothing versus plastic packaging as well.
Packaging,
It's
yes.
coming, it's leaching all these microplastics that's coming to us one way or the other.
Absolutely.
So I'd love to
And
see
when you
that.
can do it, why not?
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, if you put it in a glass jar, the efficacy of that product is going to go. No, and in fact, it's going to be better. So why not?
I think people can just start combating that in terms of like scale, economies of scale, cost, affordability, accessibility, circular packaging, all of that. And I'd love to see that shift in the industry. What's the future of cosmetics and skincare?
I think it's huge at this moment.
Any trends you're
Because
excited about?
uh, skin minimalism, and there are a lot of people now who are looking at looking natural and having clear skin, having to not use makeup. And I want to be makeup free dog, so let my skin glow. you know I think that's very exciting because we're at a phase where um, now people don't want to overfill their faces, something that I've been talking about forever. Okay, I am an international trainer for fillers and Botox. It's my passion. But if you do it right, you know, you can transform lives by just ingraining confidence in the person. But if you do it wrong, then you end up with those pillow faces. And then the filler stays in your body, in your face for a very long time. And then if it's hyaluronic acid, it's absorbing water, swelling up, making your face look puffy and, all of that. So a lot of times I keep saying that, listen, you have to use everything the right way, right? Just because you have a hammer in your hand, everything shouldn't look like a nail. It's very important. So use the right thing the right time. And yeah, I think it's nice to know that there are this whole change about, okay, we want to do things where uh, where we do treatments which make us look like the best versions of ourselves instead of looking like somebody else. That wave is just about, that wave has begun, and that's a very good wave.
Love it. Here for it. I want to ask you a couple of things, but in a almost rapid fire form of way, if you could answer them in a sentence.
Yes.
Sleeping with the air conditioner on, yes or no?
No, dehydrates you.
Okay.
I mean, you have to moisturize and then sleep.
Showering with really hot water.
So that water which is going to evaporate from your skin because it's so hot is going to take a chunk of moisture from your skin. So lukewarm water, never hot water.
Okay. Oiling my hair.
Oiling your hair, yes, because oil is a very good conditioner. Oiling your scalp, not so often, maybe for once in a week for about 2 to 3 hours.
So no overnight oiling.
No overnight oiling. If you have dandruff, do not oil your hair. Do not oil your scalp.
Why is that?
Because when you oil your scalp, you are giving food to that yeast called Malassezia furfur, which is going to increase the dandruff on your scalp. So
I always thought that helped.
A lot of
people
people
had
think,
flaky
oh, my
scalp.
exactly. Yeah. So everybody thinks that way, that, oh, my scalp is so dry, it's flaky, so let me oil it. But actually, you're giving food to the yeast which is growing there.
So what's the most effective treatment for dandruff?
You've got to get it tested. You've got to get your scalp examined, and then you can use a zinc pyrithione based shampoo. Just lemon and aloe vera. Just rub that on the scalp and add a pinch of turmeric. Turmeric is an antiseptic, so that helps great. If it doesn't, then a zinc pyrithione or a ketoconazole based shampoo. Sometimes it's not dandruff. Sometimes it's seborrheic dermatitis or psoriasis of the scalp, which mimics dandruff. So people think it's, oh my God, I've got thick flakes, but actually it's a skin condition. So if it's persisting in spite of you trying all your home remedies and these shampoos, you need to consult with a dermatologist.
And you know where to find one. Hyperpigmentation, especially in Indian skin, dark underarms, dark knees. How do we tackle that?
Dark? Okay, so when you talk about Dark underarms, it could be due to many reasons. Okay, so find out if your hormones are in place. Are you allergic to some perfume? Is it constant friction because you're shaving every day or whatever? Do you have a fungal infection? You find out the cause and then treat it. Okay, dark inner thighs are normal, embrace it.
Okay. What's the weirdest skincare or treatment anyone's ever come to you for?
The weirdest treatment.
Weirdest skincare request, procedure, treatment, or even like an ask that someone's come to you for?
I think I've told you about how people want to use uh, snail mucin and how they want to use bird poop. They want to know, they want to do those facials. Those are quite weird. Um, Instagram is like, now you see this trend of using menstrual blood on the face, and people actually come and ask, can we do this? Because, we've seen it on Instagram and it's so unhygienic. Um, so those are some weird things. And the other things are, you know, where you look perfectly normal, but you still want, brows like Spock, or you want Fox. I just fail to understand, why do you want to look like that? Why? I want, so I will say, okay, listen, you have a lot of lines here. You come with a frown and you look like you're constantly angry. So fine. You're asking me for a little Botox. I'm happy to give it to you because I don't want you to look angry and frowning all the time. But after 2 weeks, they'll come back. Not all, some of them will say, no, but I don't want a single line. But why do you want that snatched look? It makes you look like a frozen potato. Right? So, so why do you want that expressionless face?
Yeah.
Okay. Or why do you want the lips to walk into the room before you are walking in? So keep it natural. Enhance your lips. I love doing lip fillers. I'm very passionate. You wake me up at 3 a.m. and say, Doc, if you need it, I will do it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't need it, and if you have lovely lips, why do you want to look like a duck? So, yeah, everything has its pros and cons. There's a plus and a minus. Weigh it and do what's right and what's best for you.
And advice for men. Any men listening.
Use sunscreen.
I think that's your advice to everyone listening to this. That is your holy grail. One holy grail product would be sunscreen.
Always. Yeah. These days it's also retinol because I've crossed 50 now. So I love using retinol now.
That helps.
It helps.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should start at 35.
Should start at 35.
Yeah.
I started much earlier.
Which is good. Retinol is a good ingredient. Unsafe in pregnancy. So stop 3 months before you plan to conceive.
Not worried about
that. Just, for the people to know. But otherwise, it's there's a way to use retinol. And since you use it, you know that you always begin with the lowest concentration, the lowest formulation. Start with once a week, then go to twice a week, then go to 3 times a week. From your smile, I know you've not done all of that.
Obviously did not know that.
But you got lucky because you did not have a reaction. If you have oily skin and acne prone skin, you get away. But if you have dry skin or eczema prone skin, then you can get a lot of dryness and redness and all of that. And so there's a way to use it and combat that, and you can.
Now I know how to use retinol. What's the biggest mistake people make with their skincare?
One is exfoliating way too much, because they think if they don't exfoliate, the skin is not going to get clear, which is not true. When you over exfoliate, you want to exfoliate every day, you will compromise the barrier of your skin and your skin is going to get more sensitive. 2 is just following way too many layers on the skin, applying way too many layers on the skin. And we talked about it. It just harms the skin more than it does right. Number 1. Number 2, there are a lot of products which, do not gel. Their pH and their pKa values are different. And so when you apply them, one is getting absorbed, the other is not. And so you're not getting the best of what you should. So stick to one or two good ingredients, or you follow the skin cycling where you use retinol today, hyaluronic acid tomorrow, AHA the third day, instead of using everything on the same day.
If someone doesn't have the budget for professional treatments or to consult a dermat, what can they do at home?
I think if you just follow a simple routine, it's not that you have to buy the most expensive sunscreen or the most expensive moisturizer. Something which is of good repute, is available in the market. For example, a retinol we spoke of. There is a retinol which is available, which is only for 150 rupees. Okay. There are sunscreens which are available, which are for 300 rupees. So you don't have to do treatments all the time. That's another thing that I tell my people, that you don't have to come every week or every month to a dermatologist or to a skin clinic and keep doing treatments. No, your skin will again go for a toss. You could probably do about a treatment every quarterly, once in 4 months, more than enough, if you have the budget. If you don't have the budget, I'm going to come back to whether you have the budget or you don't have the budget. If you eat right, you sleep well, you exercise, very important. Half an hour, some form of exercise, your circulation is good, your good hormones are increasing. Figure out your space and love yourself. Okay, and don't forget your moisturizer and sunscreen. And then coming to the hacks that you can do at home. My favorite is a mashed papaya mask. So I will have whatever papaya that I want to, but I take the peel and a piece of papaya and I mash it and then I apply it on my face. It's a very safe thing to do. But if you have sensitive skin, don't do it. Otherwise, the normal skin, oily skin, dry skin, you can do it. And it's got like a bunch of antioxidants. It's got beta carotene. It's got, papain, all these enzymes and antioxidants which will help your skin. So apply it for about 10 minutes and wash it off. Do it 2-3 times in a week. You can make a rice water. You can make a rice water mask. So, you boil the rice and take that water starch. Okay, you can either use that or you just soak raw rice overnight and then use that water, as a toner. Or you just take that next day morning, just, make a paste out of that and use it as a scrub, the rice with the water. It's a very nice scrub. Rice water has skin brightening properties. So you can use that. Do not use lime, lemon, tomatoes, baking soda, all these whatever, these kind of things, because they are acidic and they may be very good once they are processed and they are made into serums or whatever. But when you apply it directly, the pH is different. It's going to play with your skin and it can irritate your skin over a period of time.
So no lemon on your skin directly?
No lemon on your skin, no tomato on your skin, no. You can use cucumber slices under eyes. You can dunk your face in ice. Just don't do it every day because that will dehydrate you. I see a lot of people do that every day. It's not a good thing because ice again vasoconstricts, right? When you're bleeding, you apply ice. You want the bleeding to stop. So when you're using ice, it is reducing the blood supply to your skin. So don't do that every day. But it's nice if you have a puffy face or puffy eyes and you want to rub some ice on your face. Or if you've got like a burn and you need ice, of course. So you can do that once in a while. You can just use, aloe vera and cucumber. They're very good. Some people are sensitive to aloe vera, mind you. So always do a little test patch and then use it. So it's a wound healer. Turmeric, skin brightening properties, reduces all kinds of dark patches on the body. Wound healing agent, has anti-aging properties as well. It's a very good ingredient, which has been coming from centuries. It's there. Curcumin is what is there in turmeric, and you can use that. Just make sure it's not adulterated. It has to be pure.
Dr. Jaishree, you've been in this field for over 25 years. What are some of the biggest takeaways or lessons that you've learned along the way?
Breathe. most important thing, because we're all always running behind something. It's important to take that pause. It's important to breathe. It's important to look at yourself on the inside and really, what is it that you want in life? What are you running behind? Make those notes. Number one. Number two, always look at the other person from their perspective, because a lot of times we don't realize what they are going through. And why is this patient of mine howling or screaming at all of us or whatever? And then there's a story, because she's going through something, and she is venting it out here, or he is venting it out, or there is a reason. Somebody's very angry with you. You think you haven't made a mistake, but from that person's point of view, it's a mistake. Understand that. So always look at a person from their point of view, not from your point of view. And then, of course, my favorite, Mr. Bachchan's father, Shri Harivansh Rai Bachchan, said, "Man ka ho to acha, na ho to aur bhi acha." And that's something that I've always learned in life. And every time I fall, I get up again. I fall, I get up again. I fall, I get up again. Because in the end, I don't fall. And even if I fall, so what? That's what life is all about. So empathize. Love yourself. And life just goes on. So, and life is very short to bicker, to have things like ego and jealousy. And we're all human beings. Somewhere or the other, we have ego in us, but we have to rise above it. Probably I wouldn't have said this 15 years ago if we would be sitting like this. But I think it's important to realize that you need to breathe and you need to pause.
That's beautiful. What does beauty mean to you?
Beauty means obviously being beautiful on the inside. That comes before everything else to me. If you are a warm person, if you are kind, if you are helpful, that is beauty to me. It's very ironic because my profession doesn't go with what I'm saying, but that's the truth.
My last question to you is, what does sustainability mean to you?
Sustainability is about doing anything which doesn't harm the environment. Because you are a responsible individual, a human that the universe has created. You come from dust, you go back to dust. You don't want to pollute it. And you don't want to be doing things which will harm the other living organisms or the other living beings.
And it'll come back to you one way or the other.
Karma bites big
it'll
time.
Come out. Yeah. Dr. Jaishree, thank you so much for this conversation. I've enjoyed this immensely. I've learned so much. I know I'm putting like sunscreen on no matter where I am, whether I'm at home, whether I'm using my laptop, whether I'm going out for a meeting. Sunscreen is going to be a non-negotiable for me going forward. I'm definitely going to keep continuing on the plant-based diet that I am because it's definitely helped my skin. But for the work that you do, for the countless men, women that I know you've helped, people that you've helped feel beautiful and confident inside out, thank you so much for what you do. And thank you for doing this with me today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was really, really a pleasure and I really enjoyed it.
Me too.
And as I said, you've been so composed, so, calm. And you just made me feel so comfortable. So thank you for that.
That means a lot.
And
our shared hyperhidrosis as well.
We shared hyperhidrosis.
Now that
yes.
I know that.
Now you feel better?
Oh, 100%.
Like this dermatologist
100%.
who's practicing for 25 years also has hyperhidrosis.
I have nothing to complain about.
Yeah. And I don't do Botox because my work is very skilled.
Yeah.
And if I do a lot of Botox, I will be able to inject my patient. So I embrace my hyperhidrosis.
Yeah, as do I. Thank you so much again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, that's a wrap.